in promoting peace and constitutional order across West Africa. But we've had a couple of claims and questions, even from oppositions, taking swipe at the federal government over the rapid intervention, saying that the speed of action only highlighted, how slowly the government responds to the insecurity tormenting communities across the country. But according to the Senate source, the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barau Jibrin, he hailed the president for the prompt action he took in intervening in Benin Republic coup, and he also recalled that soldiers operating under the Military Committee for a Foundation led by a colonel, the late Colonel Pascal, briefly seized the state's television station in Cotonou, announcing all of that and all that. So according to the reports, right, explaining the circumstances that informed Tinubu's intervention in Benin coup, the source actually quoted Section 5, subsection 5 of Nigeria's Constitution, as amended, that's 1999, which deals with the president's power to deploy armed forces outside Nigeria for limited combat duty due to or deny, ensuring executive power balance with legislative oversight. The National Defense Council can actually act, but must quickly inform the Senate for ratified authority that the president holds the power, condition, imminent threats or danger to national security, consultation, and must consult the National Defense Council. Side forward. Help us better understand this too. Right? Yes, because people had been...
the decision of the president to deploy our troops to Benin Republic to restore democracy, as is being claimed by the presidency. For every question that has been raised, I think they are valid. Because again, there are two issues here. The first one is to look at the legality of that action of Mr. President, and then to begin to also question the moral grounds. See that Section 5, subsection 5, clearly says that when there is a threat to national security, there's an existential threat. Aaron notified the National Assembly for ratification. Right? So
yes.
For people who are saying, does the president have the powers to deploy without getting approval from the National Assembly? Well, in the Constitution, as we read it out, and this is deployment, you can't be saying, I have to first, what if the Senate is on recession? And they need to, what he says is that, yes, you can quickly deploy.
Yes.
You understand? But the question now is, the coup attempt in Benin Republic can warrant the president to quickly deploy. And I told you,
of analysis, yes.
Of course, people will say, the president cannot afford to have all countries bordering us under military rule. Military rule. That in itself will say, we just have to go and intervene in something that does not really concern us. Being that Benin Republic, for example, is a sovereign nation, and that whatever happened there was natural in its action. Whatever it is a debate that we'll continue to have while trying to deepen our democracy, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So it is not to shut down anybody who is raising those questions. It's Congress. As to whether President Trump and his Secretary of War, successful democracy, also have some of these challenges, and they keep having these debates. So it's not for anybody to now sit back and say, those that are raising these questions, they are not. And now that we are asking the questions, you can see that we're also getting answers, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
But the question is, what happened? That coup attempt in Benin Republic, I will never end, if you understand what I mean.
Right, of course.
And the other part of the conversation is whether there was any moral justification, really, for that man to put out his own the fire on his own house. But they also put out tell you that look, and then the next thing, the fire spreads to West Africa and Africa at large. Needs to tell them in Africa, and I think until leaders in Africa are bold enough to tell themselves the truth about the fact that look, once you continue to desecrate what the tenets of democracy is.
Benin Republic, right, is still given to the fact that searches still continues for soldiers after managing to release all hostages, including the high-ranking officers.
On the run, then once you attempt it, and it fails.
And it fails.
So it's just what it is, really. I'm sure they would have been
discussing about insecurity. Let me quickly talk about a statement credited to the former president of the Boko Haram in Nigeria has lasted longer than the country's civil war that took place between 1967 and 1970. Was saying this on Sunday during an interview, Tóyìn interview. He said that leadership must understand that Nigeria needs a combination of training, equipment, intelligence, and technology to end insurgency, saying that there is nothing wrong with Nigerian Delta militancy, saying that it would not rule out the tendency of security personnel colluding with executive and legislature, know what they are doing. First, there is training. There are different types of training. The military is trained for, what is said during the interview side for it.
Well, valid comments again from the former president. It lasted. The Nigerian Civil War lasted for just about 3 years.
Yes.
But again, this Lady Mo, and it appears that we are not having a complete handle on the spot. But again, I think we also have to situate it properly. It's unconventional. If what they do is to ensure that, look, they move ahead of this insurgent, but they are not able to stop it completely. I don't think ahead happens. You understand? But for example, America will tell you that, look, even after 9/11, even before 9/11 and up till today, they are still on the lookout. It's not necessarily about people who continue to attack you or who you can quickly identify. They have sleeper cells. There's an existential threat, especially with the Arab Spring, the fall of Gaddafi, the reality of to countries in Nigeria to be careful, to begin to tighten security around its borders, because this is fertile ground for making money. So beyond the fact that, look, you have extremists who are doing their thing to the other countries in the Sahelian region. So that's why we are telling the president, play politics with everything. But when it comes to this issue of defense and security, that is really new. You understand? But don't be surprised that somebody like Badaru before may not even know what Obasanjo is, who was instrumental to the ending of the Nigerian Civil War, leading the 3rd Marine Corps as a better ministers of defense into our security architecture so that we
in the country. I mean, especially the efforts so far in collaboration, right, with the United States after the president had declared Nigeria a country of particular concern. They've been having hosted the NSC at the Pentagon for discussions on the president's recent resignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Lawmakers have been meeting to evaluate the potential implications of the designation. Even last Tuesday, House Republicans had issued warnings about rising risk of the fact that he hosted the U.S. congressional delegation as part of the ongoing House mission over the alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria. U.S. Congressman Riley Moore, he was disclosing this on his X, expressing strong support for Tiv of Isaac Dugo and his Royal Highness James, the traditional ruler of the Tiv people, vocal about the attacks on Christian communities in Nigeria, saying that the U.S. would not ignore the suffering reported by local leaders. So he met with the cleric. Whatever efforts they are able to come up with, or whatever resolution they are able to come up with, should a
more secure country, expecting that, look, we are able to eliminate these criminals. We're expecting again that if Nigerians can go back on our roads, we're hoping that our farmers in Benue, the food basket of the nation, wherever they are in Benue State, in Plateau State, in Taraba State, of government. And, again, the U.S. officials are in Nigeria. I think they came in as far back as Sunday, and they've been moving around. They visit Benue State, they've had meetings. The reality is this, the sense of the desire of the U.S. officials, especially when it comes to the issue of the allegations of Christian genocide in Nigeria. There are deeper conversations. Not able to tidy up your back end once you are not able to solve your own problems, you create an opportunity for people to come in. So we're hoping that whatever is happening now, pressure that is coming from the U.S., is that, look, you cannot continue to pretend about your own reality. So for our government that has been sleeping, that have been just step in and just help you mess it up the more. Again, we have to be careful. Getting attacks on Christians, whether we like it or not, nobody can deny that fact. But the reality is that Nigerians are being killed, and we are.
Well, what begat the question that I asked? I mean, with all of the efforts, the average Nigerian is 80% assured that you come back safe. Not bitter now. That's not the word. That's wrong. Agitated. Yes, agitated.
Yeah. So, and maybe more, beyond even the expectations from Nigerians, don't our politicians promise? They all come campaigning to say, look, we're going to give you protection, security. And in fact, they also come voted out Jonathan and the PDP in 2015. Because of the issue of insecurity in the country. Boko Haram is running amok, taking territories. And we've got what it takes to fix it. A former general is going to take over. A new sheriff is coming to town. The sheriff came and messed up everything. There was not a complete failure for 8 years. farmers can still not go to farm without having to transact and negotiate with bandits. So this is how many years down the line of Nigerians voting out Jonathan because of what they considered widespread. You have people who are deflecting, who are looking for who to blame. So where is the security? Is the question we're asking ourselves.
Security issues still keep happening, because even just this Sunday, we had another issue in Anambra State, which of course that killed no fewer than 6 persons in 2 Andrew's Anglican Church in the Lilu community of the Hiala local government area. And for those that visited the church premises on Monday, they sustained varying degrees of injuries. The premises and surrounding area, appeared assaulted with properties, seen littering the place. High witnesses and residents, they confirmed to the media that the attack occurred in the early hours of this Sunday, disrupting church activities and created widespread panic side forward. We still have it. That's why I'm still on security. We are talking to the US. We want to see, because this is still happening on a fire near Afo Market Junction in the Northia community. Yes, out of nowhere, and they, in a commando-like fashion, and started shooting indiscriminately. We saw video footage of both incidents circulating online, showed victims lying in pools.
The media has to be very, very careful anymore. And I'm going to speak to a number of my friends. I think this is a report in the Punch newspaper, right?
Yes, Punch newspaper.
I'm hoping to be able to reach out to a number of my friends who work for the Punch to understand why these assailants have been reported as hoodlums by the Punch newspaper. Downplay what has happened. Because this is an attack on a church in Anambra State, looking like some of the attacks we've seen in other parts of the country.
Right.
Murdered in cold blood. Boys on the streets. Abi?
Right.
We're talking about people who kill people. So how did the idea of hoodlum come up? We've talked about the reportage of issues of insecurity in the southeast,
right,
and the hypocrisy that seems to come out of it. That was how they kept on reporting unknown gunmen, so that we know how to deal with these monsters. You can't have people attack a church, kill people there, set the church ablaze, and the understanding of reports here. You see, look, if you call them gunmen, maybe clash, a cult attack on a church, okay?
Cult, like a cult gang at the...
Look, again, we'll be waiting for the police to dig deeper into this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that we don't, of course, we've been talking about widespread insecurity also in the southeast. So if this is like a renewed attack on the people of the southeast, let's situate it the way it is, so that we can be. I think it's a misrepresentation of what must have happened, because I don't know how hoodlums would go attacking like that.
So
I'm just saying that professionally, I'm not comfortable with that report. There's something missing somewhere.
Right. Well, that's this angle, the economic of Nigeria, right? The issue and the debate or the talk of strictly, pinning the January to December fiscal target budget seems not to end. It seems to continue in Nigeria, right, in our economic sector. Over 70% of their 2025 capital budget into the 2026 fiscal year, as the administration is moving to prioritize the completion of existing projects and contain spending pressures in the face of weak revenues. And this directive related to all ministers, service chiefs, heads of agencies, and top government officials in government in Abuja, right? The summary of it is they are carrying over 7 to say something. Yes, implementation. Implementation of
because of time.
Yes.
Again, that look, all MDAs, state house to move 70% of their capital expenditure, capital projects in 2025. We're not able to fund a larger part of it. You understand what I'm saying? And we keep telling people that, look, when there's a budget presentation, it doesn't necessarily mean those things captured in the budget will be funded. A lot of times, about 70 to 80% of our capital expenditure components of the budget are not financed. We do more recurrent after budget, where capital composition of the budget suffers to this extent. What it means is that you are not into infrastructure. So, what is being said now is that, look, no MDA, no parastatal should introduce a new capital project in 2026. So the ones who have not been able to finance, take it over to 2026. The ones in 2025, which is about how do we even know whether these things are not duplicated? It's one thing to give an order. We don't know which one is which. Yes. There was a time we ran 2023 to 2024. There was a time we ran 2023, 2024 into 20.
They are saying that
we are not going to be able to really know which one is which. And that's why it's to know how well our budget has performed.
Well, of the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, had said that the next budget cycle will support the country's $1 trillion economy target.
We shall keep issuing these statements. It's about 70%, if not more, of your capital expenditure component in 2025. You have not been able to fund. We are really shooting and just making state.
It could be when.
With the things we say and the things we are really doing and the reality on ground.
Burkina Faso is grounding Nigerian military aircraft over airspace violation. Now, the government of Burkina Faso said that the Nigerian Air Force, the development was reported by the state-run news agency. And they informed the public that the aircraft belonging to the Air Force of the Federal Republic were operating in Burkinabe airspace, and the military aircraft had 2 crew members and 9 passengers on board on military personnel, saying that the military device. Well, the Punch newspaper captures that.
Yeah, the question is, Burkina Faso is saying there was a violation of its airspace, and the report is also saying there was an in-flight problem. So was it that the plane was forced to land because it sought the assistance of the Burkina Faso aviation? There was a problem. Yes, the Burkina Faso said they were not authorized to fly over their territory. So you cannot even say which one is which now.
I say it was.
But the question, so maybe we'll still have more reports on this, because now that the plane has been grounded, and I'm sure some of these military personnel must have been arrested by the things. Yeah.
Right. Quickly, the Guardian newspaper also captured Rep issuing NNPCL boss December 15 appearance deadline. The Public Accounts Committee. Yes, they are summoned the GCE of the NNPCL. That's by
payment contract, tax deductions, all manner of things. And up till now, he has not appeared.
I don't know.
Let's wait to see what happens on December 15th.
But it's maybe still getting. Newspaper also captured the president Bola Tinubu move through in Abuja. The engagement is coming amid the heightened political tension in Rivers State and the renewed speculation that not necessarily.
Rivers State converged. I think you see, when these people come on into the public like this to make statements, because again, each shall be counsellors and so, as I was watching the thing on TV, what keeps coming to me, and it's not just about Rivers State. So these are chairmen, and like I said, it's not about Rivers State, and look, the quality of thinking. So these are our leaders, actually.
Appreciate it. We'll come back for Mail and Focus
God bless
later on. God bless you too.